Today, we're going to talk about a technology that's literally changing how we feel our digital world. We're diving into haptics, the science of creating a sense of touch where really there's nothing there at all.
Okay, so look at this. This isn't just about seeing a virtual world. The person in this picture, they're wearing haptic gloves. That means they aren't just controlling things in VR, they are feeling them. I mean, just imagine being able to feel the shape, the weight, the texture of an object that's just made of code.
So let me ask you, what if you could actually feel the rough surface of a digital rock or the powerful chest-thumping rumble of an explosion in a video game? Not just hear it, but feel it through your hands, through your body. This isn't sci-fi anymore. This is the reality of haptics.
And while these gloves might look super futuristic, here's the thing. You are already interacting with this technology pretty much every single day. You just might not have known what it was called.
Seriously, think about it for a second. That little subtle click you feel when you type on your phone's glass screen, that's haptics. The little buzz from your watch telling you've got a message, haptics. The rumble of your game controller when you crash your car, you've got it. Even that solid, satisfying thump a MacBook gives you when you type in the wrong password, it's all part of this incredible, invisible world of digital touch.
Okay, so now that you know you're basically an experienced user, let's pull back the curtain and get into the science of how this stuff actually works. What are we talking about when we say haptic technology?
At its very core, it's this: technology designed to simulate the experience of touch. It works by applying these super-controlled forces or vibrations or motions to your body, essentially tricking your brain into feeling something that isn't physically there.
And the reason this works so well is that it taps directly into our own biology. You see, our sense of touch is really two systems working together. You've got the nerves in your skin, feeling things like pressure and vibration, and then you have this internal sense of where your body parts are in space. Haptic technology targets both of these at the same time to create one complete sensation of touch.
So where did this wild idea of digital touch even come from? Well, you might be surprised to hear that its roots aren't in some gaming lab or a smartphone company, but way, way up in the sky. Right, it all kicked off in the 1950s, not in an arcade, but in an airplane cockpit. Engineers came up with these things called stick shakers that would physically vibrate the pilot's controls to warn them of a potential stall, a literal life-saving haptic alert. Fast forward to 1976, and Sega brings that idea to the arcade with a motorcycle game that vibrated the handlebars. Then the 90s just hit the accelerator, with everything from wearable vests to the one device that put haptics in millions of homes, the Nintendo 64 Rumble Pack.
And this just shows you how fast things were moving. On the left, you've got the Aura Interactor from '94, this big, bulky vest that turns sound into rumbles. And on the right, just 3 years later, is the Nintendo Rumble Pack. It basically did a similar job, but it was tiny enough to plug right into your controller. That miniaturization was an absolute game changer.
So we know what it is, we know where it came from, but how do these little devices actually create such a huge range of feelings, from a tiny little tap to a massive shake?
Well, for the longest time, haptics just meant a simple ERM motor, basically an off-balance weight that spun around to create a general rumble. But modern stuff, like your iPhone or a PlayStation 5 controller, uses something way more advanced called linear resonant actuators, or LRAs. These use a magnetic voice coil to create incredibly fast, precise, and localized taps. It's the difference between a blunt buzz and feeling a subtle click. It's like the difference between a sledgehammer and a scalpel. And here's what that older motor looks like. Yep, that's it. Just a simple, spinning, off-balance piece of metal. Whenever you felt that buzzy vibration from an older phone, this little guy was the culprit. It was effective for a basic alert, sure, but a long, long way from feeling a realistic texture.
But today, oh man, we are moving so far beyond simple vibration. High-end racing wheels use force feedback to actually push back against you. Researchers are now using focused rings of air, so you can feel things without anything touching you at all. There's even focused ultrasound, which uses sound waves to create pressure points you can feel in midair. And some systems can use tiny electrical stimulations to simulate the feeling of weight. We are truly learning to sculpt sensations right out of thin air.
So all of this is leading to a future where that line between digital and physical interaction is getting incredibly blurry. And the applications for this go so much farther than just video games and phone notifications.
These modern haptic gloves, like the ones we saw at the beginning, they're designed to bring a true, genuine sense of touch into virtual reality. They represent a massive leap forward in making virtual worlds feel completely real.
But what's really fascinating is that this dream It's decades old. Check this out. This is a concept design for a tactile glove from NASA from all the way back in 1992. Even then, they knew that to truly interact with remote or virtual places, we needed to be able to touch them.
And that brings us to this really crucial concept called telepresence. This is basically the ultimate goal for a lot of advanced haptics, to allow a person to feel as if they are truly somewhere else, doing things as if they were physically there.
The implications here are just staggering. Imagine a surgeon in New York operating on a patient thousands of miles away, feeling the delicate resistance of human tissue through a robotic arm, or an operator safely handling hazardous materials by feeling the tools they're using. Haptics will even let scientists here on Earth feel the texture of a rock being picked up by a rover on Mars. This is why this stuff matters so much.
And the technology also has this profound potential for accessibility. There are special vests and wristbands being developed right now that can translate sound into complex patterns of vibration. It's a concept called sensory substitution, and it allows deaf or hard of hearing people to actually feel speech and the sounds of the world around them. It's just incredible.
Haptics is just becoming ubiquitous. It's making VR more immersive, it's making cars safer with warning vibrations in the steering wheel, it's making medical training more realistic, and it's even helping patients in neurorehabilitation regain their sense of touch.
And the future? Well, the future is even wilder. Get this. Researchers are now combining focused ultrasound with light projectors to create actual holographic objects that you can not only see floating in midair, but you can also reach out and feel them with your bare hands.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought. As our digital and physical worlds keep merging, powered by tech like this, the question isn't if we can touch the digital world anymore. The real question is, what's the first thing you're going to want to touch?